Why are you scared? That anything that stands on the way of the revolution, it must be eliminated in the best interest of the revolution, and we must never be scared to do that. The founding manifesto of the EFF says we'll take power by all means necessary. And therefore revolutionaries, when confronted by that situation, should never think twice.
Hello everybody, welcome once again to AfriPost. I believe wherever you're watching us from, you're doing great. Julius Malema is a towering figure in South Africa's politics. This is because he is really able to marshal huge support from the youth, from the working class. This is because he is able to really pull up a huge support from youth, from the working class, and every other sector of the society in South Africa to really build a better country. But one thing that has really been talked about when it comes to Julius Malema is the level of extremism that he tries to display when it comes to looking at the question of racial disparities in South Africa. One thing we must know is that the Afrikaners, the whites, have really had a better boost in terms of their economic standing, because much of the resources that are in that country are not in the hands of the blacks, but mostly in the hands of the whites, who are the minority. And this has really brought a question whereby most blacks feel like they are disenfranchised within their own country. And this is what Julius Malema has really been fighting and talking about each and every time. I want us to watch this video and really listen to what he was saying about racial discrimination and why he is not able to really tolerate any racist in South Africa. Kindly watch.
Why are you scared? That anything that stands on the way of the revolution, it must be eliminated in the best interest of the revolution, and we must never be scared to do that. The founding manifesto of the EFF says we'll take power by all means necessary. And therefore revolutionaries, when confronted by that situation, should never think twice. Cowards are not for the revolution. The EFF must be known that it is not a playground for racists. That any racist that plays next to the EFF and threatens and beat up the membership and the leadership of the EFF, that is an application to meet your maker with immediate effect. You were beaten by a racist, and you never did anything. Let's hope this new leadership will make a follow-up on that racist, because there must be a follow-up on that racist. I'm not asking you to do what I've not done. When a racist confronted me at Winnie Mandela's funeral, I did what I was expected to do, because I was not scared of a white man. You get beaten by white people here and you call yourself an organization of Fanon. Racism is violence, and violence can only be ended by violence, not any other necessary means. It must be confronted by how it is. But this is a province where a lot of people don't have land, and they live like sardines in the squatter camps. But the organization of the land is unable to attract the landless people of the Western Cape. Why do you say your first cardinal pillar is expropriation of land without compensation, and at the same time be in a position that you are unable to attract the landless people of the Western Cape? Because the cardinal pillar should automatically attract the landless people to come to the organization of the land. Are you just talking about the expropriation of land without compensation from a theoretical point of view without putting that into practice? Or is the leadership of the EFF in the Western Cape constituted by laziness that is unable to attract the people to come to the organization of the land. Because the landless people, in their majority, they are found here in the Western Cape. They are being pushed away from the mountains. They are being pushed away from the sea. They too want to stay next to the beach. They too want to stay next to the mountain. But you are following in the land occupation program the special planning of the apartheid and colonialist state that said black people must stay away from the cities and towns. That's where white people stay. Let's take, for example, an occupation of land in the Cape Metro that took place or in Stellenbosch. None of those occupations take people closer to Stellenbosch. Instead, your land occupation takes people away, further away from the town. Yet you say you are the organization of the land. The land means that we must go to a prime land, not to a rotten land, not to a land where people are not staying, because you are risking the lives of our people. Has there ever been identification of land in Camps Bay? Have we ever attempted to occupy land in Camps Bay and settle our people in a beautiful prime land of the Western Cape? Or we are taking our people into risky, rotten lands. And when it rains, our people get washed away by the rain because unconsciously, without declaration, you are following what apartheid said we must do. Stay away and further away from town. Because the town belongs to white people. The organization of the land must make sure that our people go closer to the clinics. Why do you go where there is no clinic? So that when they shoot, you must tell them, we are not looking for the land. We are looking for this clinic. We want to reside next to where there is a clinic. Why are you taking our people to where there are no schools? Because we have to go where there are schools. We have to go where there are hospitals. We have to go where there is water. We have to go where there is proper roads. We have to go where there is reliable electricity. No. What do? You take them further away. And even when they settle there, the white minority is not bothered by that because they do not disturb them. But if we settle next to the suburb, I can guarantee you will get services tomorrow. We will be formalized tomorrow. There will be water and electricity for our people tomorrow. There will be proper RDP houses to match the standard of the suburbs tomorrow, because whiteness will be threatened by our presence next to them. And they will say to the white government, please put services there. Because these people, as they help themselves in the bush, they make the whole area to be smelly. The whites are going to join us. Why? Because we've destabilized their comfort. And whites can never live without comfort. You stay away from their comfort, they will never be bothered by your struggle. Every time we say there is a shack without water and electricity, they respond by saying, shame. What happened? Because it doesn't affect their comfort. You ought to make the comfortable uncomfortable and the uncomfortable comfortable. That's how you know the revolution is taking place.
Now, after watching this video, what is your opinion about Julius Malema? Because most South Africans are really happy to really see Juju take up his position and really work towards building South Africa to be great. But there are certain parts of South Africans who believe that Julius Malema is just some noisemaker. He's just somebody who is pushing himself without even any serious ideological backing. From a neutral perspective, I believe that Julius Malema really advocates for some of the best ideas that any African president should really fight for. Because for me, since I started watching him, one of the things that he has stood by and he has remained on is the question of empowering the black person. Because blacks have really received a lot of hate from different parts of the world. If they go to Europe, they are hated. They receive racial discrimination. If they go to United States, they are being arrested and shot easily because of racial discrimination. If they go to China, they receive racial discrimination. Where will they really benefit and get the best out of their lives? It is just in the African continent. And that is why all leaders, all political leaders, all presidents should come together and work towards building an Africa that works for everybody. An Africa that is supportive towards the black person. If you look at most of our institutions, they are really developed in such a way that systemic racism is intertwined within them, because criminal justice system in South Africa is more oppressive towards the black person than to white people. Just as Julius Malema is saying that there is a situation whereby whites, when they engage in criminal activities, they do not receive backlash or even immediate and swift action from the law enforcement agencies. So I tend to agree with what Julius Malema is saying. He is somebody who is there to really ensure that Africa grows, Africa receives the best out of itself, and Africa continues to be self-sufficient and works towards being the greatest partner in the economic landscape. I don't know what you think about this, but please, if you're watching us for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and also share. Thank you, and may the good Lord bless you. Goodbye.